Yeah, so this time Jamie said he's not going to change his mind, and we are ready to start. So, baby, how are you, brother?
Let's go, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all fine. You know, the peak week begins tomorrow, so I hope that things are like just like you said on your vlog, that it's almost the time to finish it and enjoy other parts of your life.
Yeah, man. You know from watching that how I felt at the end of that prep, and you can just relate because you know the feelings that's going through your mind. It's a weird one because we all look forward to getting on stage and putting our hard work to show everyone else what we've been working for. But at the same time, I think it's not easy doing what we're doing. So at that point, we're very drained emotionally and mentally, and ready to hopefully get the result we want, but then ready to make the improvements, but enjoy life as well.
The worst part is how you impact your closest one. You know, your
Mm.
emotions. How do they impact? Because sometimes you just don't. You are not able to control yourself, and you don't realize that.
No, I think a lot of the time as well, the closest ones to you, you have that level of a relationship where you almost feel like, not that it doesn't matter, but you're not as careful as how you act with those people.
Because you think that they are going to forgive no matter what.
That's right, yes. When really they're the most important people. So you should be more careful to look after their feelings. But we know it doesn't always happen like that.
Sadly doesn't, but yeah, there are just, prep takes, over prep took a little bit longer because you've been prepping for like 10 months, yeah?
Yeah, since January, man. So
shit.
A long year, lots happened, and I'm in a good position now. I feel like I'm in a very good position. I'm not just like physically, but mentally where I need to take my physique and what I need to do to get where I want to be. There's no grey areas. And I think for this year, there was still grey areas in what I believed that I was doing, whether it's right or wrong, and whether I could achieve what I set out to. I now know that I've got a plan in place which is solid. And when I implement those changes that I know I need to, when I come back, the goals that I have will happen. It won't be a case of thinking, am I ready? So yeah, I'm in a good place, like good headspace as well.
Yeah, so lots have changed for you. I wanted to call this episode as brand new everything because basically everything changed, starting with the sponsors. So maybe let's start with that because you just began the new chapter. So who are they? Who are the people who are supporting you now as the supplements and so on?
Right. Well, this is a problem with being a giant, David, because I did position some supplements behind me, not knowing that I blocked them all, but I'm going to move aside a little bit just so they can see in the background.
Yeah, they are.
There they are. They're watching fall over. But if I put them there, so these guys are called Raw, RAWR, Sports Nutrition. They're a new company in the UK, but I had a chat with them before the Arnold Classic. Obviously, I knew that I was coming away from the brand trained by JP. We'll discuss that next, I'm sure. But it's very important to me to find a brand that I felt like, A, I could be myself and put across my own visions towards bodybuilding and training and nutrition. B, the brand had to obviously have good products. That was key, that I could endorse with like wholehearted passion and just sureness behind the brand, not just the products and the quality, but the brand's vision and ethos. Because obviously, you know me, I'm very honest. I'd like to come across as the nice guy and high morals, because that's genuinely who I am. And I wouldn't want to represent a brand without those similar characteristics and traits and attributes of personality. So the guy behind the brand is called James. We had a very in-depth conversation prior to the Arnold Classic. And I came away from that conversation excited because although they're a new company, their vision for the brand is massive. They want to take the company like global. They're already speaking about attending the Dubai Muscle Show in April. And that was one thing for me about the new brand that I was going to affiliate with. I want to travel the world. You know, I'm 36 years old. I've probably got 4 or 5 years left competing. I want to travel the world, whether it's off my own back and going to see people and places, or ideally with a sponsor that, you know, is going to help promote you as an athlete and promote your own brands, the Giant brands. So we had a great conversation. His vision is huge. And the big thing for me as well was, if I show you this product, that is made with one of the other athletes, good old Mr. Muscle Unit, Rob Taylor.
Rob, yeah.
So he's made his own pre-workout called Gas Mark 10, which is Rob's tagline. And straight away, James was like, we're going to get the Giant series going. We'll start with one product and, you know, it could finish with 3 to 5.
That's a big one.
So for me to have input on not just representing the brand, but have input on products and, you know, assigning a product or some to my brand is just going to be insane. So that's it. Raw Sports Nutrition. Discount code as well, Giant 20 for 20%.
To the Europe as well, to Poland and so on.
I think at the minute they're in the UK, I do believe they ship Europe. But one thing James is like huge on at the minute is growing the distribution portfolio across Europe and then worldwide. That's the brand's vision. So let me double check for you, but that's one thing I've got to cover with him as well and see like if it's not already set up, when it's going to be set up, because I imagine it's going to be pretty damn soon.
Who more are the part of the brand? You know, you, Rob, and what more athletes? I think Darren.
Yeah, they've got obviously the guys from Dubai, Jamie, Darren, and I think Jace. I'm not sure whether he is or isn't quite just yet. But there's a classic physique pro from the UK called Eddie Chip. Also classic physique pro Ryan Cartwright. And they've just taken on 2 of my good friends, Nathan Stiles and Phoebe Goodwin.
And isn't it as well, isn't there Alyssa? She's coached by Darren. Not figure, fitness. She just qualified.
Possibly.
Yeah, I think she joined as well.
Yeah. I don't know the full roster of athletes yet, but I do know the people that I know personally are very good athletes. But the main thing here is they're good people. They're people that are passionate about fitness and bodybuilding. They're people that are good on social media that can relate to fans well. This is the big thing about athletes and brands now and who they take on. It's very important that they take on the right people because we're all a representation of this brand. And it only takes one person to make the fruit basket go moldy.
Yeah, fuck it up, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, since you already started the subject of Trained by JP and so on, but I don't think that we really have to cover it since you have already said everything on your YouTube channel. So if anyone is interested, he can just head to your channel and you have explained like from bottom to the end why and when. But you are still a part of Clothing or Forum, or are you going to be on the forum?
No, nothing. To be honest with you, a big part of my decision to come away from the brand was the fact that I didn't really like doing the forum. I didn't really like updating my log. And that was really just because I didn't find that I added value to it because it was just seemed like the same. I've trained today. I've had a rest day today. This is my cycle. You know, it was just very generic. And I didn't feel as though it didn't excite me doing it. I didn't enjoy having to put something on every day. I just thought it wasn't really required almost. It wasn't something I was into. So and with the site, the videos, I feel like Push Pull Legs was very much the same. And I could never really be myself and show anything different. It was like, oh, Jay's coming to film another push video. And that probably came across in my demeanor towards the end, that I wasn't really excited to film. And I just knew that something needed to change.
Yeah, let's speak about the changes in the positive manner. So it's not really a change, but more like a comeback.
Yeah.
Starting the work with Phil Veets, I knew about it like one of the first guys, which I'm really glad about that you trusted me. I kept it to myself because
Yeah.
I didn't know that if you wanted to share it or no, so I just shut it in myself.
Yeah.
So you've met. How did you even started speaking to Phil again? Did you kept in contact since you were previously coached by him?
Yeah, so we've always kept in touch. We've always been friends. I love Phil because he's such a character, and I think he's like Marmite, a bit like Cuba. You know, people either love him or hate him, right?
Yeah, it's not between, no between.
No between, yeah. So he's just one of those guys that I've always understood that he's from New Jersey. And I always say, if you know Guy Sistanino, you know that these guys from New Jersey are pretty crazy.
Yeah, they don't fuck around. By the way, there is a material, interview with Guy Sistarino if anyone wants to watch it, and he doesn't, he wasn't even like holding back on it.
So that's just their upbringing and their personalities. That is. So whether people like Phil or not doesn't matter. We get on well. The biggest thing here is he knows my body, and he is a responsive coach. He doesn't have anything pulling him away from his coaching. And this was one of the main reasons for coming away from JP as well. Not to talk ill of him in any way, shape or form, because I think he's quite honest with what he's had to do. The guy's insanely busy. You know, he's got a supplement company, a clothing company, a website. He's got a massive following himself. Corin and Jordan, the brand trained by JP, are insanely busy. So how could anyone expect them to have time to concentrate on their progress? It's just not going to happen. And I think it's just took this level of time for those two people to actually put their hands up and say, do you know what? We haven't got time to do this. And they've done the best thing. And it just to really show the true characters of them and how good of people they are by saying, hands up, guys, we haven't got time to coach anymore. And they've just let go of all their athletes.
Yeah, which is really good for them, since as you say, they could take loads of clients and just do some copy paste shit, or just just like get someone to get their plans, so to speak, and do it for them. So they could, but as you said, they have enough and they want to grow in other direction.
Exactly, definitely.
Yeah. So working with Phil, what's changed?
Well, again, he's just more responsive. So I'm getting a lot more feedback from him in terms of like my posing. There was a lot of things he changed with my poses. He went to town on my back double bicep and back lat spread, which definitely improved, because a lot of people said, wow, the back double bicep was brilliant. What have you changed? And it's really just how I was posing.
Yeah, you can't change physics so in such a long, such a short time.
Yeah, so there's that element of it, which I was like, wow, I've not had this because people haven't had the time to give me that input. But when we first started speaking, I was like 6 weeks out. I was in a bit of a bad place in terms of how I felt about my physique. Was looking very tired, flat, depleted. I was 290 at the time, and I just didn't see that I would be on stage where I wanted to be, which is like a little bit heavier and much, much better. So I contacted Phil because at that time I'd already told Jordan that I was going to do things by myself. And he was like on it, mate. So this was like 6 a.m. So we're talking US time, midnight. He was FaceTiming me. He says, look, this is what I'm thinking, looking at my pictures. I will send you the plan within the next hour. So that's the kind of response that, as a pro, I'll tell you what happened to me. I went to the Puerto Rico show and I saw Akeem was there with his coach at the time, Justin Miller. And I was like, man, this is next level, that the coach and the client is at the show together.
Who is Akeem with now? Because he was with Kuwaiti guys. Did he change?
I think he went from Justin Miller to the Kuwait guys. And I believe he's still with them post-Arnold Classic, because obviously that wasn't his best look. But I don't even know whether it was or wasn't, because all the black guys, you couldn't even see them on stage, could you, because of the backdrop?
Yeah, the backdrop was tragic.
Yeah, so for anyone with black skin, unfortunately for them, they're just not going to come off well. I mean, obviously, Rough Diesel won his classic class, so I imagine the judges could still see what they wanted to see. But as a fan and somebody wanting to kind of almost critique someone's physique, you just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was hard to critique these guys because you just couldn't see the detail at all.
Yeah.
For example, Patrick Johnson in UK, it was the same story. I was
Really?
like, I can't see anything on the the webcam.
That live stream was shocking as well, wasn't it?
Live stream was quite okay, but the photos were shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying it straight, they were shit.
I've not got any good photos from the actual show. But, you know, live and learn, my tan was a bit light. But that's just one of those things I think you get right or you get wrong. And unfortunately for me, I got it a little bit wrong this time. Would it have made me place a little bit higher? Maybe I could have jumped above Tim or Joe, but I was happy with where I placed. I knew in my head there's a lot that I need to improve on, so the result didn't really matter.
Before we speak about the Arnold itself, what are the plans now with Phil, working with Phil?
So I've just got my diet through to start next week, because I'm a big believer that post-show you should have some downtime, some rest. So I take the whole week off.
How much pizza did you have?
Pardon?
How much pizza did you have this week?
Do you know what? I had one the night after the show.
Only one?
And that's it. So, but this weekend, the kids are over. I have my son like at the weekends, and we always have pizza on Saturday night. So pizza's going down tomorrow night, for sure, if not tonight. And then I've got a table booked at a restaurant in Manchester that do the best pizza ever next weekend. So I'm going there with Jimmy Tonk.
Yeah, I know Jimmy.
Yeah.
He has done what judges told him to do, you know?
Yes.
A special work.
Yeah, man. He took a lot of feedback from the judges this year, and he listened. And the last show he did was based off the feedback that they wanted him as tight as he could come in, you know? And this is what you probably know as well, Derek, David. I always say Derek because your name is...
yeah, it's David, you know. It's hard to speak, it's hard to pronounce for a guy from UK.
How would you pronounce it? And I'll try and replicate it.
David.
David.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, cool. Like we used to have the French footballer, David Ginola.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty much.
So Jimmy, I think, was about 20 pounds down.
Yeah.
You know, and what I was going to say is people are very often different from their check-in photos to their stage photos, because we're always looking for this magic pill in the last week. But it doesn't exist, does it? The best look, if that check-in photo is the best look, then that is the look we need to replicate on stage. So let's not change really anything. And that's what Jimmy did, and it paid off for him, because I think more people should take note and do that in the last week. This peak week is such a fucking confusing thing for people that I think it never should have been invented, but if we can kind of eradicate from people's memory and they don't even know about it, it would be better.
Yeah, let's just maybe start calling it differently. Not a peak week, but like not manipulation week. I don't know even how to call it, you know, just the last week.
Last week could be perfect, wouldn't it? Last week.
Shit.
Yeah.
A little bit more, you drink a little less water, and that's all.
That's it, yeah.
And people complicate it so much, and they either come 2% better or 30% worse.
Yeah. The level of positive to negative is so shifted one way, you shouldn't even try.
Yeah, it's not worth it. The math isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so working with Phil, are you having now like a recovery phase, or are you going back to growth?
Yeah, so I was quite big, to be honest with you, on saying that I wanted to get my body fresh after the long prep. So he sent me the plan over yesterday. Very, very low anabolics for 8 weeks, just to assist the higher food volume, to be honest, and training for the next 8-week phase. And then we're going to go into another 4-week phase of even lower anabolics. Once my body's kind of like working and up to speed. And then he says after that, we'll look at full off season, which just means, you know, full cycle. But that lower anabolic period will allow my body to stay nice and healthy or get healthier. I'm always big on checking blood, so I'll do them probably every 2 months this year, just to make sure that we're always in a good spot. But it's very important for me to rest for a week after the show, because I know everyone's different views with this. Like Cuba's gone straight back into the gym this week, more probably for mindset, mentality. Like my mindset improves when I'm not in the gym after the show, because I almost develop this need and want for the gym again, and I'm like excited to go and train.
Maybe it's because the age difference as well. You know, Kuba is 26, you are 42, 45, yeah?
I'm 36.
36. I think, yeah, so it's almost 10 years. So maybe that's the
yeah, definitely. But I just feel like it's good for the body, good for the mind. Big thing is getting back on top of sleep, because I'm, you know, waking up at 3, 4 in the morning in prep. This morning I woke up at 6:30 and I was like, man, you know, I could just stay in bed. But what you don't want to do is get too far away from your routine.
Yeah.
So that's been, you know, as much as I've had more sleep, I've definitely not let it get out of hand.
Is Phil more high protein, high carbs, high fat?
He's definitely low fat. Now, his views on fats are fats just slow down digestion. So he is low fat. He will have fat in the first and the last meals of the day in the form of probably whole eggs for breakfast and steak at night, and then really not much in the way of fats. However, my off-season plan has got like a tablespoon of peanut butter in some of the meals just to add calories. But he's definitely not. Some guys are probably doing 100, 150 grams of fat a day. I'll probably do 50, 60 max.
So how much carbs do you going to have to eat?
So carbs wise, I've not worked out the actual macros on my diet, but I'll give you the breakfast. So the breakfast is 4 whole eggs, 300 egg whites, 5 slices of toast. I think they're like 20 grams of carbs each. 75 grams of carbs from cream of rice. So that's 100 grams of cream of rice. 60 grams of carbs from fruit or berries.
60 grams from berries?
Yeah, and then I think there's some dark chocolate in there as well.
Oh, big. That's like 250 carbs from...
Yeah, there's 100 grams of carbs in my intra, 150 post-workout, 100 pre-workout. There's 120 in 2 of the other meals. So without calculating it, I'm going towards like 8 to 1,000 grams of carbs. That's starting.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough off season, but you'd never have a problem with your waist, so it's no problem.
No, and I tell you what's different this time, David. The training style.
Yeah, it's changed different.
Yeah. So when I was doing push-pull legs, it's very much you're working up slowly to that top set, then you're having your back off set. There's very much the need for large rest period between sets because it's very heavily focused on strength and numbers. So I'd be sat there for 3 to 5 minutes resting between sets. So my output over the session wasn't very high. But this time it's how I used to train. So we'll do the compound work at the start of the session, get the heavy stuff done out the way, and then it'll be a lot of metabolic work in the way of drop sets, cluster sets, supersets, you know, just fucking hammering the muscle, getting some blood flow in there, getting the heart rate up, and just working hard. You know, the intensity from those sessions is very high, but it's a different feel. But what you've got to think is, because the output's so high and the energy from the session is so high, I'm a big believer in that then has an effect on your metabolism, on your appetite, and allows you to eat more foods.
Possibly.
So I just think I mean, if you look at James, I think James's physique this year is the best it's ever looked.
Yes.
And he was a massive believer at the start. You know, he worked with Jordan before in very simple training methods, in the sense that it was all heavy. Now he's working with Patrick. He's not only grown, but he's refined his physique. His waist is tighter. And I don't think you can get that look without doing the cluster sets, the drop sets, the higher volume work. I think you need a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's something different for your body. You can't stay, you are working out like for 20 years already, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't keep replicating things and expect something to change.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this is an interesting one because Phil's got very strong views on things. So
yeah, his views are like either black or white. There is no...
Yeah. So I messaged him because this diet came across with all these foods, and we have insulin on the training days to push these carbs. So I'm not going to lie about that. I think total insulin, I think we're looking at 40 to 50 units a day.
Short-acting or Lantus?
Mainly around the workout. And that was what I was going to discuss. It's fast-acting only. Because I said, right, Phil, what about Lantus with all this food? Is it going to help? And he put, Lantus is dog shit. And people who say it works don't know what they're talking about. Something like that. It was a very direct statement towards Lantus being like, no, don't even bother. It's not even going to cross our radar.
Yeah, so it's simple, you know. You as well need a coach that you can communicate with, of course, give your opinions, but in the end, he has to stop you, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that comes back to trust. You have to trust who you're working with. And I have full trust in his ability. So I'm excited to see what happens this off-season. I'm very excited because, like I said to you before, I'm in a very good headspace. And I think if you're in that headspace, that's a good start.
Yeah, that's a great start because everything starts with your mind.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Arnold Classic. Was it your best package?
I think so. I've looked at the videos. The video that I put on today,
yeah,
YouTube, I've had to take down because there's some copyright issues. I've
watched the 15 minutes one.
Yeah, so if you could see my stage video there, I think that was a good representation of how I looked.
Yeah, it was good.
I think with a darker tan, that would have been even better.
You used Proton or?
Yeah, I used Proton, and normally I use
like 2 more coats would be.
Yeah, I think if I went Proton again, I just need more.
Yeah.
But liquid sun rays is normally my go-to. This time I didn't use that, and it's live and learn, like I said. But I think this was my best look. And it's the best I felt with a peak. The best I felt I was managed. And the best I felt I was looking like each time I checked in those last few days. And not only that, you've got to appreciate that we had to hold that look from 6 a.m. till midnight.
Yeah.
And I think I fucking did a pretty good job of looking about the same from when I woke up to when I got on stage.
Yeah, that's
which
a great one.
I think is a big win for anyone.
Yeah, because you already know some variables that work on you. For the
Yeah. I mean, put it this way. Could I have been tighter in the lower back? Probably.
But you would lose size. So you would lose some size. Is it worth it at your height?
That's what I mean. You know, there's that trade-off. And I think I was like 290 on stage. 292. But the issue with the lower back wouldn't be present if I had more tissue on my back.
Yeah.
So that's what I look at. I don't look at there needs to be less body fat because body fat levels are really low. If I had more tissue, it'd stretch out the skin. So that's what I concentrate.
Just a matter of time.
Pardon?
Just a matter of time.
Yes, exactly. And what I've done this past year really is I said this to Mark Hector on a voice note. I said, Mark, what I should have done is what you've done. And I should have took the time off. But me being me after the British, this is what's going through my head. Jamie, you've got 5 years left to compete. You're 35 years old. You need to take as many chances as possible to get to the Olympia. So you need to get back on stage. But if I carried on with that train of thought after this year, potentially never would have got there because I always would have been missing out, scraping points. So while I'm still fresh, because I don't feel 36, and, you know, I think I look like a young 36. So we've got time to go away, to have an off season, to make the improvements and come back. I'm not going to say I'm going to be undeniable, but I will be fucking challenging for the top 3 spots, which is where I need to be, not fighting it out for 6 to 10.
You have spoken with Phil for sure post-show. What are his expectations and what does he predict for the future for you?
He says this off-season we can get a solid 10 pounds of muscle.
That's loads.
That's going to put me at 302 on stage, which is, I think, where I need to be initially to show the judges that I mean business and almost, you know, be more dominating on stage next to the shorter guys. And then we have another off season after we qualify for Olympia and compete there. And, you know, where does it end? 310, 315. I just know that what I think I can do with the knowledge I have now is pretty fucking damn good. It's gonna be very, very noticeable.
Are we going to see still a YouTube series and so on?
Oh, big time, man. I'm very this off season. I'm going to go to town with the YouTube because you know, one thing I want to do is grow the Giant brands, and part of the Giant brand is YouTube, social media, growing all platforms, so that when I do finish the stage, I have something to fall back on. So yeah, get ready. YouTube's going down, and because I'm in the off season, I've got some things planned that are going to be a bit different, quite exciting, fun. I've already got a video planned with there's a professional eater woman in the UK called Leah Shuktar.
Yeah, I've heard about your plans.
Yeah.
It's going to be big then. So let's start some pot. You have been there yourself. You have watched it. So many people are saying that Samson should have won against Nathan. What are your opinions on that?
Well, I haven't seen much stage footage. I did see it obviously from the stage. And one thing that really stuck out for me was the fact that Nathan was so fucking dry. They posed and posed and posed. That guy did not sweat a bead. He was that dry. He was dry as a fucking camel. He didn't sweat at all. So whatever they do to dry out in Kuwait, it fucking works. And I did hear him backstage talking about drinking vodka and no water. So that might be the secret. So there's that element of it. You know, Samson was sweating a lot. He was fucking wet through. Samson's shape is incredible. Like his shape and how he's put together is phenomenal. But what I noticed on the side of the stage is he really lacks in the glute and hamstring. Now, I think Nathan would have pipped him on glutes and hams. And I just think Nathan, being the more seasoned athlete, would have beat him on just like being a bit more polished and just a bit more relentless and not faltering with his posing on stage. So yeah. I think Stuart was correct, if I'm honest.
Yeah, when for example, Nick Walker poses, what I've realized, he just stands still. He shoots the pose and just stands still.
Yeah.
What is your Olympia top 5?
Right, so top 5. I've got Ramy winning again.
Yeah.
I think Ramy will win. I think Hadi will come second.
Why?
Because I think Hadi will be better than last year because he's had more time in the US.
So can he beat Ramy?
I don't think so, because I think Ramy is equal to him in the sense that they've got amazing physiques. But I just think from a stature point of view, you can't beat Ramy's stature.
Bigger, better man.
Yeah, definitely. I just don't see it. You know, I see the bigger man winning. That's it. If he comes in shape, the bigger man wins. Whether Hadi has got cross striations in his fucking eyelids or not. So that's my top two. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because I feel as though Brandon and Bonac could slip down further. And people like Nick Walker, who will be more comparable to Ramy, can jump the queue almost.
Yeah, you know, people are saying that Bonac is coming 9 kilos heavier. Where?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know whether you've noticed this. I would have expected it to be more of a talking point, but I've noticed Bonac has got a gyno this year.
Yep, right nipple.
Yeah, so that to me straight away should be a bit of a markdown. But we'll see. Sometimes it doesn't, it flares up and then they can manage it to the show. But every photo he's like kind of posted is showing it off quite a lot. But there's a massive mix up between 3rd to 8th, I think.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I can't see Rowley improving enough to get top 6. I think he might drop out of the top 6.
I don't want to be a bad judge, but
yeah,
I don't think that Rowley. I know that Rowley won't be in top 6.
Yeah. What do you think about James versus Ian?
James.
Yeah.
More complete package.
Not overlooked, but not spoke about a lot because he just hasn't done any shows.
Yeah, but James got just more complete package.
Yeah.
And
he this year is fucking night and day difference to last year as well.
Yeah, and Ian, you know, Ian might be tired, even though he says that he improves every show.
Yeah.
There is a part when you can't improve anymore and you just go downhill, especially he's a tall guy.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to you. So, Ramy, Hadi, Nick, James. Then I'm going to go Brandon, Bonac, and Ian. And that's when you get the, what's his name? Hunter and people like Justin. That's when you start mixing those guys in. Akeem and Rowley, fucking hell. Let's just leave it at top 6.
Regan, you know, Regan improved tremendously.
Regan's improved a lot, yes. I want Regan to do well because I love his physique and I think he looks amazing. Has he done enough to do a top 10? I'm just not sure he's big enough yet. I think he needs more size, but he's going in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, but don't you think that it's really a smart approach from him? Because he's doing it slowly, you know. He doesn't ruin his lines.
Yeah, he's got his head switched on. I mean, fuck me, to be that kind of switched on with business at his age. You know, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Yeah. And he's got the people around him. The Canadians, they got such a good vibe going on at the minute that, you know, they could make some serious waves in the next 5 years with Canadian athletes at the Olympic for sure.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Quinton then?
The guy's a freak. Now, I'll be honest with you, when you look at him training his YouTube videos, I think, man, that sucks because he looks as good as he does. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but it doesn't look like he trains very hard.
Sometimes enough is enough, you know?
Yeah, he just like relaxed, going through the motions, Mr. Chilled. But his physique, wow, speaks volumes. And I'll tell you another guy over there who's still an amateur who just looks insane is that Carlos.
Yeah, the guy with quads like Hassan.
I just think some guys are just born to do this shit.
Yeah, you're like a basketball, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did you want to do it? Why didn't you go to the basketball?
You know what they say, David, white men can't jump.
I knew you were going to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to Hassan, he should change something.
He's got to change something. I was thinking in the shower last night, believe it or not. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? Thinking about Hassan in the shower. I was thinking about the Olympia, and I was thinking, I wouldn't want to be that guy that everybody said competed every show of the year, which is fantastic, like hats off. But if you compete in every show of the year and can't come in shape once, what does that say?
There is
something wrong. I don't want to be like, can't come in shape for one show, never mind 10. So yeah, change something.
There is something wrong. Either he's cheating on the diet.
Yeah.
Either his body is tired.
Yeah.
Or he just has to change the coach.
I think, like you say, something we're not seeing definitely needs to change, because the guy's obviously got a crazy physique. He's a lovely guy. He goes around the world with his missus and their daughter. They're lovely people. I met them in Puerto Rico. But the guy's he could be Mr. Olympia. He's got the fucking bodybuilding world at his feet. If he come in condition.
We had to pause, sorry for that. We were speaking about Hassan and about him being Mr. Olympia. I don't think so. I think that he could be more of a statue like Marcus Ruhl, you know, some kind of really freaky, but he's, you know, he's not a white guy. And he has so much muscle on him that these legs and it just doesn't flow right for the Mr. Olympia. You know,
I see what you mean. Definitely, I just think he could be a lot better. He's got a lot more to give than he's giving.
He can win a show like, for example, Arnold Classic, but not only.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your thoughts about Nick Walker? You know, he was called that he can't win even he can't become a pro, then he can't win a show, then there's no way, and he proven everyone wrong simply. So he's like the biggest inspiration, to be honest. And a guy, you know, they're calling him that he's just too, you know, too proud, but he just says what he thinks. He says that he's going to win and he does it.
Yeah. Mate, why not? You know, confidence is something that is required to do well at anything in life. And if you think you're going to win, going into a show, that is definitely the mindset that you need to be in. But then to speak about it, yeah, fuck it, who cares? Like, if that's how he genuinely feels, then he should. I'm all about being the person that you are, and not pretending to be a different person on social media or acting up to a camera. When people meet me in person, they're like, oh, you're actually who you are on YouTube or Instagram. And I think that's what any of us should kind of like aim to be like. So, I mean, hats off to Nick. When he came out, it was clear that he was like winning a show.
Yeah,
he's just
kind of a show. Just you're like, wow.
Yeah, there was no. I think it's the only show I've watched for a few years where there was just zero doubt who'd won.
Previous Olympia when Ramy came out.
Yeah, maybe that was the last time. And to be fair as well, before that show, I said Ramy won't win, and he came out and I was like, fuck, he's won.
And you know about Nick, there are still some assholes that are saying, yeah, he won because Bonac wasn't here. For God's sake, who forbids anyone to compete?
I know. At the end of the day, Bonac's a professional. He should have had his shit together.
He should have known better.
Yeah, they should have been he was in Kuwait, for God's sake. They should have been dealing with this for him long time ago.
Yeah, it's not Nick's fault that someone didn't arrive.
Exactly.
Nick wasn't like, yeah.
So I think Nick will get his chance to show people this weekend when he comes in front of Bonac in the placings.
Yeah, and you know, he posted, I don't know if you watched the conference, have you?
Yes, I watched it. I didn't see the Nick Walker bit. I know he was with Hunter on his, but I saw the Bonac and Ramy and Brandon.
Yeah, when Nick hit front double,
yeah,
he looked way better than Arnold.
Oh mate, he's just so dry and.
You know, when he hits the front double.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he hit the front double, you were like, he was a little bit moving his abs forward. Now he moved them back, and it looks like, you know, and he was in a shorts, so you couldn't see as well his legs. So it's going to make him look even, you know, smaller in the waistline.
The guy's insane. I mean, fuck me. Like I say, some people are born to do this, and you'll never ever get to that level. But it's great motivation for us to keep chasing.
Yeah, we got to speak about one more subject, which is really sad. George the Bull.
Yeah, man. Sad times. I mean, obviously we don't know much yet, but I think he was like 37, so only a year older than me, and just fucking so out the blue. Doesn't really seem real, does it?
Yeah, because he was such a humble guy. You didn't hear him speaking loudly. He was just, you know, a hard worker.
Yeah.
And it's just sad for the whole industry too, you know.
It is, because I feel as though bodybuilders get a bad rep anyway. And when a bodybuilder dies, there's always a stigma attached and people guessing and speculating on what's happened.
And those fucking channels that are hungry for attention, saying that he did this and he did that, you know nothing. Most of it remind what happened when Luke passed away. How many assholes already said that he did that, he done that?
Yeah.
For God's sake, keep your
mouth. I think certain channels should be like blacklisted if they want to make their name by giving out bad press on people like that. It's just below the belt, isn't it? It's not, doesn't fit well with my morals. Fair enough if you want to do a tribute and not say anything, just praise the good parts and good memories, but why do you have to speculate on what happened? That's personal to the families of these people, no one else.
You know, the sad thing was as well the Meadows passing, but I didn't expect that because our industry acted really well.
Yeah.
No one said shit about John. They just said that he was a good guy, a humble guy. He helped loads of people. And it was just, even though it is a sad situation, it was cool to watch how many people loved him.
Yeah, definitely. Insane.
And now suddenly, maybe because it's so close to a show and, you know, his coach as well said how he found him, and some things should have been kept quiet.
I think so. It's a very, very, very horrible situation. I mean, I spoke to Phil about it and I said, Phil, at least he died and he was able to live a full life in terms of he did what he loved to do. Went far, far too young, but there probably wasn't a day that went by where he thought, I don't enjoy what I do. And having a life, however long, and being able to find that passion and live it out, I think that's some life. Because, you know, I look around at people and I look at people in 9-to-5 office jobs and going to work, and they live for the weekend because they have the weekend off and they hate their jobs and they get paid poorly and they're struggling, they can't afford to go on holidays. Like, you know, that's probably down to their own mindsets or something. But this guy, you know, he had plenty more to give, but the time he was here, he fucking did what he loved. And that's massive.
Yeah, you never know when it's your last day. You never know when it's your, last minute on the sport. So you got to embrace it and just, just enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think a lot of people resonated with the last YouTube video I did because I was so honest about what we go through. And then some people messaged me saying that they pulled out their show. They've told their coach like they're not doing it because they wanted to concentrate on family. So I don't know. People took that in different ways, but I think I probably made some people evaluate their reasons for doing bodybuilding and competing. And I think the main thing we should all be chasing here is what makes us happy. Ultimately, for me, the sacrifices I make with my family are worth it because bodybuilding is not only my career, but it makes me happy. At times we need breaks, but I will never lose the passion for wanting to get back in the gym or start prep again or work towards my new progress and bigger back. There's always something.
Yeah, but as you said, the competition is just a small part of it. It's just a break in the whole process. It's one day out of the 364 of whole journey. So it's just, you got to enjoy it, and if you don't enjoy it, don't do it. That's simple like that. Jamie, one more question before we go. There are lots of old school people bashing the bodybuilding world. What are your thoughts about it?
I think they lived in a different era. They lived in a different time. Bodybuilders are bigger now, and they've got access to different information, different drugs. They're going to have a different look. But that's why Classic Physique was made, so we could still have this artistic, tight waist class. So focusing on open bodybuilding is like, I think for them, back in the day, they was probably playing football or soccer, but now they're judging a rugby match. It's different. Times change.
They didn't.
Let them fucking live in the past.
The worst thing is that most of those people are really forgotten.
Yeah, but that might be why they're trying to shout up to get attention.
Yeah. Look, for example, this Robbie Robinson guy.
Yeah.
Come on, you just not so long ago, you were saying that either each of your followers give you $1 or you're going to delete your Instagram.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Crazy. I think people are genuinely jealous of the opportunities that modern day bodybuilders have. Because of media, we can now make this a business and make it a good livelihood. And they didn't have the same opportunities we had. But, we could say, well, we don't get magazine contracts now. We don't get WEDA contracts. So again, times change. You have to evolve with the times. If they're still present in the bodybuilding industry, look at people like Milos, still making a great living from bodybuilding. Jay Cutler, probably earning still the most out of any bodybuilder. People have to reinvent themselves. I seen a podcast with Phil yesterday, and Phil looked downsides, but he looked great.
His Heath.
Yeah. He looked really healthy, really happy. And I think it's just, if you can't reinvent yourself, then you become, what's the Terminator say? Obsolete. And you've forgotten. But it's their fault. Don't blame anyone else. I listened to a podcast today from George Peterson, and he was talking about resentment for others. He says, if you can learn not to resent others, then that will make you so much more powerful, because you will be able to turn that resentment into positive energy for yourself. And I think that's all it is. These people resent what we're doing now, and that's all they see. That's all they know. They resent, and they feed that out to their audience. Whereas what they should be saying is, right, this guy's fucking super successful. How, why, what, when? Let's fucking change.
Yeah, when I'm speaking, for example, to you, and I see you buying a new house,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, this fucking Jamie, he got a new house. I'm more like, how did Jamie work this new house so I can get a new house, but an even better house with 3 apartments towards the
Mate, I'm the same. You know, I had a phone call with a business guy yesterday who's very well known in the industry, Mark Coles, probably well known in the UK.
Great guy.
I said, Mark, I'm at that level now where the money that I earn isn't enough because I want more from life. The house, like you say, I want 2 or 3. I want a house in a different country. I want this or that. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy things. It buys your
happy.
It buys future, yeah, and it does make me happy. Of course it does. But what it provides then is security for my family.
Yeah, okay, so let's speak about it. So money doesn't buy happiness, yeah?
Yeah.
But when you see your miss, when you come to home from work, from gym, from wherever, and she's at home, she's safe, you feel happy.
Yeah.
And you got this house for the money. So money does buy happiness,
it does.
Without those people inside, you know, because you could live with your miss even in a, I don't know, in the woods, and you would be happy if you knew that she's safe. But in a place where she can't be touched, you're a really happy man.
Yeah, man. I think there's got to be a level of balance between earning money and spending money. Because obviously it only buys happiness if you're prepared to spend it on things that make you happy. A lot of people work hard and don't have any time to spend it. And that's where I think it comes from. Money doesn't buy happiness. I know the richest people in the world are never happy because all they do is fucking work. They got no time to spend it with anyone else. So it's a balancing act. But yeah, of course, if you earn money, then you're going to have the ability to buy things that make you happy. Like me and my wife are going to Italy at the end of this month for a 6-day break.
Without kids?
Couldn't have gone if we don't have no money.
Without kids this time?
Yes, this time without kids. That's why I'm looking forward to it so much, to be honest.
Last time in Croatia, you were with kids, yeah?
Yeah, it was a good and bad holiday.
Yeah, it was good, but you needed a break.
Yeah.
And you can't have a real break when you have to take care of so many people.
Exactly, man. You need time to yourself, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great talking to you, Jamie. I enjoyed even when we speak on the private, it's always like, you know, we have our laughs, but we have as well, you know, normal conversations, not only about bodybuilding. And I like people who are not closed-minded, as you say. It's not bodybuilding lets us get to know people who can teach us as well. And that's what I'm glad for. Thank you so much for your time, Jamie. I'm wishing you all the best. And not only I will just say, just enjoy your vacation for now and then progress, grow up, whatever you want.
No, definitely, that I will. And we'll keep in touch, but good luck for your show. I've got high expectations, but I know they are understood because you're in the best shape of your life. So just go and enjoy it, man. Do your thing.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. That's the most important. Thank you, Jamie.
No problem, man. Thank you very much.